Toyota just shook the auto world with something no one thought was possible in today's market. An $8,000 brand new pickup truck? Yes, you heard that right, $8,000. In a time when trucks from Ford, Chevy, and Ram are pushing past $50,000, Toyota has decided to rip the rulebook in half. And this isn't some fantasy concept or a stripped down prototype. It's set to hit dealerships in 2026. That price tag alone is sending shockwaves through the industry because it's not just about affordability, it's about flipping the entire pickup market upside down. So what exactly is Toyota offering here? The truck isn't about luxury leather seats or over-the-top horsepower. Instead, it's pure utility, lean, efficient, and built for people who just need a truck to work. Think farmers, tradesmen, small businesses, and even families in emerging markets who never had access to a brand new truck before. Toyota is targeting a global audience, but make no mistake, this little pickup could easily find a cult following in the US among buyers tired of bloated prices. Now, the biggest question, how did Toyota even manage to build a pickup at this price point? The answer lies in Toyota's decades of global engineering. They've borrowed heavily from their small truck legacy, going back to the Hilux and even the old T100. The platform is simple, rugged, and designed to be cheap to maintain. No complicated electronics that can bankrupt you at the repair shop, just basic, reliable Toyota engineering, with a small displacement engine or possibly even a hybrid option depending on the market. This is Toyota going back to its roots, the way they built their reputation in the first place. Tough trucks that last forever without breaking the bank. And here's the kicker. Analysts are already warning that this truck could cause absolute chaos for competitors. Imagine being Ford, selling a base F-150 for $38,000, and now Toyota drops a truck at $8,000. Sure, it's smaller and simpler, but the value is undeniable. It undercuts every player in the market, not just in trucks, but in the entire auto industry. Suddenly, the guy saving for a used 10-year-old pickup might think, why not just buy a brand new Toyota instead? That's the type of disruption this move could trigger. But what about features? What does an $8,000 pickup actually give you? Surprisingly, more than you'd expect. Toyota isn't selling a tin can on wheels. Early reports suggest it comes with air conditioning, modern safety features like ABS and airbags, and a basic infotainment system with smartphone connectivity. No massive touchscreen, no heated seats, no luxury fluff. Just the essentials, packaged in a body that looks rugged and modern enough to appeal to today's buyers. It's a reminder that sometimes less is more, especially when everyone else is drowning customers in unnecessary tech. And this truck isn't just about price, it's about strategy. Toyota is clearly aiming at markets where affordability is king. Latin America, Asia, Africa, and rural America, places where people actually want trucks they can fix with a wrench, not a laptop. This is Toyota weaponizing simplicity. The message is clear, they're not chasing margins with bloated options, they're chasing volume, loyalty, and dominance. Once people start driving these trucks, competitors could lose not just sales, but entire customer bases for a generation. Here's where it gets really interesting. The US market has been dominated for years by the bigger is better mentality. Trucks have ballooned in size, weight, and price, but Toyota dropping an $8,000 pickup could expose something the American truck giants don't want you to know. Millions of buyers never wanted a giant $70,000 monster in the first place. They just wanted something affordable, reliable, and capable of hauling and towing without draining their wallet. If Toyota officially brings this truck to US soil, it could trigger a massive shift in what people expect from a pickup. Suddenly, simplicity becomes a selling point again, and you can bet Ford, GM, and Stellantis are already sweating. These companies have invested billions in high-tech EV trucks, betting that people would pay luxury prices for electrified F-150s, Silverados, and Rams. But if Toyota proves that affordability beats excess, the big three could be forced into an identity crisis. Do they keep pushing their oversized luxury trucks, or do they attempt to backtrack and build something that can compete with Toyota's price? Either way, Toyota has put them in a corner, and history shows that Toyota is lethal when it plays the long game. Remember how the Corolla and Camry ate Detroit's lunch in the sedan market decades ago? This feels like déjà vu. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, electric trucks. Some reports suggest that Toyota is experimenting with hybrid technology for this pickup, especially for markets with stricter emissions rules. While it won't be a full EV, Toyota knows not every region has the infrastructure for electric trucks. By going hybrid or sticking to small fuel-efficient engines, Toyota can keep costs down and reliability up, while avoiding the biggest pitfall of EV trucks, expensive batteries. And here's the key. If buyers can get 35 to 40 miles per gallon out of a tiny Toyota pickup, that's an efficiency game changer in a segment where fuel economy has been an afterthought for decades. And don't underestimate the cultural impact. For years, owning a truck has been a status symbol, tied to power, size, and luxury. Toyota's move challenges that idea. They're saying, You don't need chrome rims, leather seats, and 600 horsepower to own a truck. You just need a dependable machine that gets the job done. This isn't just an $8,000 truck, it's a philosophical reset. It's Toyota dragging the industry back to reality, back to the roots of what made people love trucks in the first place. Think about the ripple effect this will have on the used truck market. Right now, people are paying $15,000 to $20,000 for used trucks that are over a decade old with 150,000 miles on the odometer. But when Toyota launches a brand new pickup for just $8,000, who in their right mind is going to keep overpaying for worn-out used models? Overnight, the bottom could fall out of the used truck segment. Prices will crash, dealers will panic, and the entire resale ecosystem could collapse under the weight of Toyota's disruption. And globally, this isn't just a product launch, it's an economic weapon. Toyota is targeting regions where car ownership is still out of reach for millions of people. Imagine rural India, Africa, or South America, where families and businesses have relied on ancient vehicles because new ones were too expensive. Suddenly, Toyota offers a brand new truck with warranty support at a price point that changes lives. It's not just transportation, it's opportunity. Farmers can move goods, small businesses can expand, and entire economies can benefit from mobility at scale. This is how Toyota cements dominance, not just by selling cars, but by becoming the backbone of entire markets. And don't forget the psychological advantage. Toyota has already built a reputation for making cars that last forever. So when buyers see Toyota on the badge of an $8,000 truck, they won't hesitate. They'll trust it over a $20,000 used Ford or Chevy. That trust is priceless, and Toyota is leveraging it perfectly. Once these trucks prove themselves on the road, and let's be honest, Toyota knows how to build a truck that can take abuse. Word of mouth alone will create unstoppable demand. But here's the real bombshell. This isn't just about one model. Insiders are whispering that Toyota might use this truck as the spearhead for an entire new wave of ultra-affordable vehicles. If they can pull off an $8,000 pickup, what's stopping them from releasing a $10,000 SUV or a $12,000 compact sedan? This could be the start of a global price war that shakes the auto industry to its core. Companies obsessed with squeezing margins out of overpriced vehicles might suddenly have to rethink everything, or risk being steamrolled by Toyota's volume-driven assault. Governments are going to be forced into the conversation very quickly. In countries like the US, automakers have relied heavily on protectionist policies, tariffs, and regulations to keep cheaper imports out. If Toyota really brings this $8,000 truck into American showrooms, you can bet lobbyists from Ford, GM, and Stellantis will be banging on Washington's doors demanding restrictions. They'll argue it undermines American jobs or destabilizes the domestic market. But the truth is simple. What they're really afraid of is losing customers to Toyota's unbeatable value. And then there's the labor side. U.S. automakers are already under pressure from union negotiations, strikes, and rising wages. Building a truck at $8,000 under those cost structures is impossible for them. Toyota, on the other hand, has perfected globalized supply chains and efficient factories in emerging markets where production costs are far lower. This allows them to play a completely different game, one that Detroit simply can't win without tearing down its entire business model. That's why this truck doesn't just compete on price, it exposes a fundamental weakness in the American auto industry. Meanwhile, rivals in other parts of the world, brands like Hyundai, Tata, and even Chinese automakers will be forced to react. Many of them have already been trying to carve out niches with budget vehicles, but Toyota's entry is devastating. Toyota has brand trust, global reach, and a dealer network that stretches across every continent. A Chinese pickup might be cheap, but buyers will always wonder about long-term reliability and resale value. With Toyota, those doubts disappear instantly. That's the killer edge that makes this truck more than just affordable. It makes it unbeatable. And here's another angle nobody is talking about yet: infrastructure. An $8,000 truck is light, nimble, and easy on roads in places where heavy-duty pickups cause wear and tear. Governments in developing regions might even welcome it because it encourages mobility without putting the same strain on infrastructure. Imagine how many rural areas could finally get reliable transport for goods, medical supplies, and workers simply because a brand new truck is suddenly within financial reach. That's not just business, it's geopolitical soft power with Toyota at the center of it. Now let's talk about the cultural clash this pickup could ignite in America. For decades, the U.S. truck market has been built on size, image, and status. Driving a full-size Ford F-150 or a Ram 1500 isn't just about utility, it's a statement. These trucks have become symbols of power, pride, and even identity. But Toyota's $8,000 pickup throws a wrench into that culture. It strips away the vanity and reminds everyone what a truck is actually supposed to be. A tool, not a luxury lounge on wheels, not a six-figure status symbol, but a simple machine built to work. That message could resonate far deeper than the truck makers expect. Picture a young contractor who doesn't want to take out a 7-year loan just to buy a vehicle for his business, or a farmer who just needs something to haul supplies without worrying about payments bigger than his mortgage. For these buyers, Toyota's offering is more than just affordable. It's liberating. It's a way out of the debt trap that the U.S. truck culture has created. And if enough people embrace that, the whole bigger is better mindset could start to crumble. And let's not forget the new generation of buyers. Gen Z and younger millennials are already skeptical of car ownership costs. Many of them don't want to spend their entire paycheck on a vehicle. They value practicality, affordability, and flexibility over excess. Toyota's $8,000 pickup might be exactly the kind of no-nonsense option that wins them over. And once younger buyers latch onto something, it can completely reshape market trends. Think about how compact crossovers exploded once millennials started ditching sedans. That same generational shift could happen in trucks with this Toyota. Even in urban areas where massive pickups don't make sense, a smaller affordable truck could become a surprise hit. Easy to park, cheap to fuel, and versatile enough for weekend projects or small businesses, it's the kind of vehicle that sneaks into markets the Detroit Three never bothered to serve. That's how Toyota quietly rewrote history with the Corolla decades ago, by serving the people who were ignored. This pickup could be their next global icon, born from the same strategy. Dealerships are the first ones who'll feel the shockwaves. For years, their profits have come not from selling affordable vehicles, but from pushing high-margin, high-priced models loaded with extras. An $8,000 pickup completely undercuts that strategy. The margins will be razor-thin, but the volume could be staggering. Suddenly, dealers won't need to squeeze every penny out of a single truck. They'll be moving fleets of them to contractors, small businesses, and first-time buyers. The sales floor dynamics change overnight, and that could make dealerships rethink their entire business model. Financing companies will also be thrown for a loop. The average truck loan today stretches 5, 6, sometimes even 7 years. People are buried under car payments that rival their rent. But with Toyota's $8,000 pickup, you could finance the whole thing in just a couple of years, or in some cases, buyers might skip financing altogether and pay cash. That's a nightmare for banks that have grown addicted to interest payments from oversized loans. It's a small shift for buyers, but in the financial sector, it's a major disruption. And then there's Wall Street. Investors have been rewarding automakers for bloated profits on high-priced SUVs and trucks. That's been the bread and butter of U.S. automakers for over a decade. But when Toyota floods the market with affordable trucks, the conversation changes. Analysts will start asking, why are Ford and GM only selling expensive trucks when Toyota is proving there's demand for cheap ones? Stockholders could pressure the big three to rethink their strategies, creating a domino effect across the industry. What once looked like a safe bet, luxury trucks and EVs, suddenly looks risky compared to Toyota's low-cost juggernaut. This is where the long-term picture becomes clear. Toyota isn't just selling a truck, they're rewriting the rules of the game. By slashing prices and going back to basics, they're exposing every other automaker's dependence on overpriced models. And the scariest part for Toyota's rivals? This isn't a gamble. Toyota has the global infrastructure, brand loyalty, and financial strength to pull it off without flinching. Once this truck lands in 2026, it won't just make waves, it could create a tsunami that reshapes the auto industry forever. The supply chain is another piece of this puzzle that can't be ignored. Automakers have spent years complicating their vehicles with electronics, sensors, and high-tech systems that require expensive parts and long supply chains. Toyota's $8,000 pickup flips that approach. By keeping the design simple using tried-and-true components and leaning on existing global parts networks, Toyota not only lowers production costs but also ensures parts are cheap and widely available. That means less downtime, faster repairs, and lower ownership costs. A triple win for buyers that no competitor is ready to match. The aftermarket and repair industry will also feel the impact. Most modern trucks require specialized diagnostic tools and dealership-only servicing. Owners are locked into expensive maintenance cycles that bleed their wallets dry. But this Toyota pickup? It's being engineered for simplicity. Mechanics can work on it without advanced software, and in many cases, owners themselves could handle the basics. That's a direct threat to the dealership service departments that have become cash cows for automakers. If people can fix their trucks affordably and keep them running for decades, Toyota wins twice by selling more vehicles up front and by cementing long-term loyalty. Parts suppliers, too, will face a shakeup. An ultra-affordable truck means Toyota will need massive quantities of basic components: brakes, tires, suspension systems, shifting demand away from high-margin luxury parts toward durable, cost-effective ones. Entire sectors of the parts industry may pivot to serve the tsunami of these new trucks, starving suppliers who've grown dependent on expensive, tech-heavy components. This ripple effect could reach all the way from factories in Asia to local auto shops in small-town America. And think about the cultural impact on repairs themselves. Right now, truck owners often feel trapped between dealership costs and complicated DIY projects. Toyota's $8,000 pickup could restore that old-school sense of freedom. The idea that a truck is something you can actually work on in your own driveway. That nostalgia, paired with affordability, might create a loyal following that no amount of marketing money can buy. Once people start passing these trucks down to their kids, Toyota will have achieved something priceless: generational loyalty. Energy markets are another area where this $8,000 pickup could quietly spark big changes. Right now, the global conversation is dominated by electric vehicles and the push to phase out gas-powered cars. But here's the reality. In many parts of the world, the charging infrastructure just isn't ready, and the cost of EV batteries is still sky high. By releasing a cheap, fuel-efficient truck, Toyota is essentially saying, "We know the EV future is coming, but millions of people need affordable mobility today." And that message is going to resonate far louder than policymakers expect. If this truck delivers even modest fuel economy, say 35 miles per gallon, it could drastically reduce fuel demand in regions where older, inefficient vehicles still dominate. That means fewer gas guzzlers on the road, more people in efficient Toyotas, and a gradual easing of oil dependence. Ironically, Toyota's little gas-powered pickup could do more to stabilize fuel consumption worldwide than all the luxury EV trucks combined. It's a strategy that acknowledges reality instead of chasing headlines. But make no mistake, this will reignite the EV debate. Critics will accuse Toyota of stalling electrification, while supporters will argue that it's providing a realistic bridge to the future. Either way, governments will face tough questions. Do they incentivize ultra-cheap, efficient trucks that people can actually afford? Or do they keep pushing for EVs that remain out of reach for most of the world? This tension could reshape environmental policy because politicians will be under pressure to choose between affordability and ambition. And let's not forget oil-producing nations. If Toyota's truck takes off globally, it could dent the long-term demand curve for fuel, especially if millions of people swap out their old gas hogs for something leaner. That shift might not make headlines at first, but over a decade, it could alter the balance of power in energy markets.